good people? David Taub here from nextlevelguitar.com. How are you? I hope all is well, and I hope your guitar journey is going famously. This is just basic blues playing using minor pentatonic and blues scale, and we're going to be playing over a jam track in the key of D minor. And a lot of people have been emailing saying, you know, I'm just trying to get my lead guitar playing going, and I know a few scales, but I just can't get to seem to get my licks to sound right. It just isn't flowing or coming together. So I thought I would do a little lesson on phrasing, kind of connecting your licks together, and just a couple of licks. You know, a lot of times when I'm teaching privately and students come in, the problem that they have when they first learn the solo is they're playing way too much, and their playing doesn't have any rhythm to it. It doesn't kind of have any flow. So let me help you with that. And it's essential that, you know, I'm a big believer in practicing over jam tracks. And I'll tell you later on how you can get some of our jam tracks. So we're going to be playing in the key of D minor. It's minor blues, a 1-4-5 minor key progression. Start very simple and just with a couple of licks. Now, let's play these licks using D minor, pentatonic, and blues. It sounds great over all the chords. And eventually you can get into soloing over each chord individually, but first learn run, then learn fly, Danielson, right? All right, so if you don't know this scale, go to our website, nextlevelguitar.com. There's a 3-day free pass right on the homepage. Try it, give it a trial run for 3 days. And then you can go to the intermediate lead section, and there's all the scales are there, and then the written lessons are diagrammed out, so you can learn the scale there. Okay, what you want to work on when you're soloing at first is just doing a couple of licks and like just varying them a little bit. So let's just start off with a real simple blues lick, something like this. Okay, what I'm doing there is I'm sliding on the D string to the 12th fret, then 10th fret on the G string, 12th fret on the G string. Then I slide with the first finger from the 9th to the 10th fret. So you get this so far. And you let that ring a little bit. Maybe a little vibrato. And then that last part of the lick is 12th fret on the D string, 10th fret of the D string, 12th fret of the D string. Now notice too, I'm not playing the lick like this. That is just playing every note like 1 and 2 and on the 8th note, and you don't want to do that. Remember, that's another problem a lot of students have at first. They don't let their licks breathe. You know, you got to kind of throw in the notes, some quicker together, some slower. Let them breathe and ring out. That's why playing over a jam track is really cool. So that'll be the first lick we'll play over the first chord, and then we'll repeat that lick again. See, that's what really you want to do. You want to engage your audience, and you engage them by melody, right? That's what catches everyone's ear. That's why they always play choruses so often in songs, and you know what they always say, get to the chorus, get to the hook, because it's the melody that's what people remember. And the same thing when you're soloing. You want to come up with good rhythmic melody and good licks that kind of you can go back to, so the audience is like, wow, yeah, I heard that lick before, what's he doing with it this time? That's cool. So the second time we play it, so maybe instead of one slide from the 9th to the 10th fret on the G, you do 2. And then instead of 1 on the D string at the end, we'll do a hammer from the 10th to the 12th fret twice. So here's a lick the first time. Let it ring. Vibrato. And slide out. Then you gotta do it again. There it is twice. And twice. So listen how they're gonna sound over the track, and I'm playing them over that first chord, the 1 chord. So you see how I kind of waited after the first one for the chord to come around again, and then I went again. I wasn't jamming them together. Remember, you got to let things breathe and just take your time. Now let's try another lick. Maybe over the next chord, because now the chord progression is going to change to that G chord. Let's do a lick like with a big bend in it. So that lick, we're going to bend now a whole step, which is a great bend when you're doing the scale. On the B string, we're going to bend that 13th to the 15th fret. Make sure you get that up a whole step. And then you let it down with vibrato. That's a great bend. Now, I'm not just doing that. I'm milking the note. You got to really kind of milk the notes and get all you can out of it. Bend up, hold it. Hit it again in vibrato. That's a great bend to do over the next chord in a 1-4-5, because when you're bending that up, I'm bending it actually to that D note, and that D note is in that chord, that second chord. So it's one of the chord tones. A chord tone is just a note that makes up a given chord, and those are very strong notes because they're playing that chord in the rhythm. That's why it's so important to always know the chords that you're jamming over. And we'll get into that more later, but just I'm planting a seed for now because you want to land and target certain notes. And that's why these licks sound so good, not just because. It's because you're striking strong landing notes. Like the first lick, notice the note we're really resolving to is the D. That's the root note. And in the beginning, you want to be resolving a lot of your licks that you're playing to the root note, in this instance D, because we're in the key of D minor. So always know where those D notes are in your given scale, if you're playing in the key of D, obviously. But we're resolving in really strong landing note, because that's the root note. That's in that chord, that first chord, that D minor 7. And then we ended that lick, and we're just going to go right down the scale. 10th fret on the B string, 12th fret on the G string, 10th fret on the G string, and then we're going to bend, go back to the 12th fret on the G string, and you can bend that up a half a step, so we're bending to the blue note. So we're going to bend it up, let it down, and pull off. So keep all 3 fingers down and pull off to that 10th fret on the G string. And you land on that strong D note, 12th fret on the D string. So here's that whole lick. And notice when I bend strings too, a lot of times I just don't bend the strings like it's wah, I'll bend it fast and let it down. I just don't want to do like a standard bend. I try to throw some different things in there every now and then, And you got to mess with your bends. Bends take a while, but make sure you hit that note, don't overbend it or underbend it. Let's see how that lick sounds over the next chord. Here it comes. All right, and let's go back to the first lick. That time I varied it. I slide up, and I bent instead of going to that first finger. Another lick you could do there, another real easy lick is